Hey, it's summer. All right, so getting ready for those pool parties and everything like that? Hi, I'm Sandy Missouri from Balloon Utopia and DIY Balloon Art. Today we are going to be learning an ice cream cone that you can make for out by the pool, for your summer pool parties, that you can use for your back to school ice cream social. There are so many things that you can do with this fun ice cream cone. And I gotta say, this is like one of my favorite designs ever. And I'm gonna share it with you. So, anyways, without further ado, this one for the column, you see that I've got about a 4-foot pole here. There is a video on how to make the base plate and pole, so we're not going to show that here. I'm just using this because it's convenient. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be basing all of this for the cone on 11-inch balloons. And our 11-inch balloons are graduated in size from about 9 inches each to about 6 inches each, approximately. It does not have to be exact. The main idea is that you want from the top cluster of balloons to the bottom that you have about a 3-inch size differentiation so that you kind of have a little bit of that cone effect. All right, so we've already talked about how to do quads, but just in case somehow this is the very first video that you've tuned into, the quad is you're going to take 2 balloons, tie them together, and then take 2 sets of 2 and twist them together. So now that we have our quad, we're going to start at the base, and we're going from the smallest to the largest. Because again, we want to create that kind of cone-ish effect. And I'm not going for a deep cone or a big waffle cone, just a slight graduation, just so it's not so like, ooh, you know what I mean? Anyways, all right, so here we go. Just put it on and wrap it around. That's it. And you're just going to do that. Now what I have here is I have 2 quads of each size. So this quad here is going to be the same as this one. So I've already formed it into a quad. I put it on. Now you see that I'm nesting it. Right? So we're stacking the balloons that we're not trying to force one right on top of the other, but they kind of find that sweet spot where they just kind of settle into each other, kind of like packing oranges. Okay, so there's 2, and we're just going to continue on up. Like so. And you know what, actually I'll even show you this, okay? You may notice that I wrote some numbers on here, and you see that they disappear inside. You're not seeing it, and your friends and family wouldn't see it if you did it too. But this way, if like me, you pre-inflated all of your balloons, you're not gonna lose track of, because it's slight variations and it can get confusing. So this is just kind of a little cheat to keep us all on track here. And I will share it with you. You guys are welcome to do it too. Okay. Getting my 3rd quad over here. Okay, so we're just going to continue putting them on. And this part, it actually goes together pretty quickly. And believe it or not, this column is actually going to be, when we finish, it's going to be almost 8 feet tall. So, sorry if I'm just going off screen here. Okay, a couple more here. All right, and these are the building blocks. What we're doing right here, this is the building blocks for pretty much any column. So the same technique, you can use all the same size balloons, and then you can make your spiral columns or whatever. All right. There, so you may have noticed that there was a balloon on top of the pole, so we do that for 2 reasons. One, so that if there's any sharp edges on the pole, it's not going to pop the balloons. And 2, it gives a little bit of a latex to latex consistency so that it kind of grabs it a little bit better. All right, so now that we've done that, excuse me, I'm going to have to go off camera for just 1 second here. We've got our 3-foot balloon. So this 3-foot balloon, it's not inflated all the way. We probably have this one inflated to about a 2 1/4. And if you notice, what I've done is I've taken a 260, which is the long skinny balloons, and I've tied it to it. And so then I'm just going to take that, and you see I've tied it so that it's right in the center, and I'm going to separate it, and then I'm just going to kind of feed it through down that first quad and pull it through like this, and you see, just kind of tie it in. Just like so. All right, so this on its own, it's pretty cute, right? It's nice, but we're not done. Oh, no, no, no. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is I actually have some of my garland already built here. we need a long, we call this garland when we have, basically it's exactly the same technique as the column, only we have it on a 260 or a piece of fishing line instead of having it on a pole. So just to show you how this is done, I'm just going to finish this up here. Okay, so I've got a little quad of 5-inch balloons here. They're inflated to about 4 inches. And I'm just going to take my 260 and I'm figure eighting it right around there. And that holds it into the garland there. And then I'm going to take my next one and do the same. So I have here probably about, I'd say probably about 28 quads in this garland, give or take a few. All right. So once that's done, and I figured you guys didn't need to watch me string the whole thing together. It's the same process over and over and over again. All right. So now, once we have this, we start playing jump. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this right around here and close it together. So all I'm doing is I'm stretching these 260s that I have on either end and just kind of figure eighting them around each other so that it creates this, you know, circle, this loop of the 260s. All right? And now, I know you're going, oh my gosh, that is so cute. That's perfect the way it is. But we're not done. No, because we have to add the sprinkles. So I want to show you that what we have here is we have 4 different sizes of what we would call non-round balloons or twisting balloons. These are the balloons that you often see people using for animals, hats, whatever. So the sizes that we have a 160, which when fully inflated is approximately 1 inch across, 1 inch wide, and 60 inches long. We have a 260, which when fully inflated is approximately 2 inches across and 60 inches long. A 350, which, can you guess, is approximately 3 inches across and 50 inches long. And a 646, which is approximately 6 inches across and 46 inches long. Now, most of the time, you're not going to use those balloons and inflate it to that actual size, but that's just kind of a general guideline of how they relate to each other. So you saw that we use the 260s a lot as string. They're very handy that way. What we're going to be doing today is we want to make the sprinkles. So this is going to turn, you'll see, I mean, this is going to turn this from something like, oh, that's cute, to something that is like, oh my God, like, because that's how I am about this. Like I said, this is my favorite design. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to take our 160 and we're going to fold it in thirds. It doesn't have to be exact, that doesn't matter, okay? But the idea is that it's going to be a lot easier for you to make the little pieces if you cut them into the pieces first. And if you cut them too small, you're going to have a really hard time tying them. So that's why we're doing it in thirds. So you take your 260 and you fold it into thirds. Can you see this? Okay, and I'll do it here against the brown, okay? So just cut and cut like that. So now we have 3 little pieces. This is not a magic trick. I'm not going to be putting these back together. Okay, so now 2 of the pieces have holes on 2 ends. Obviously, that's going to be very difficult to inflate. So what we're going to do is just tie off on each of those one end so that you now have a balloon that you can inflate and the air will stay in it. I know these things should be obvious, and I'm sure that you probably already figured this out, but I have had people ask me, so I'd rather just spell it out for you. Okay, so now we're going to take our little pumpy, and we're just going to put our little 160 on there, and we're going to inflate. Now this is really big for a sprinkle, right? I mean, that would just look weird. So we're going to put it, I'd say that's probably about maybe 2.5, 3 inches. Again, it doesn't have to be exact. Even if you look at your ice cream when you use real sprinkles, they're not all exactly the same size. So you don't need to get out your ruler and say, oh my gosh, she said 2 inches and this is 2.5. Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? Not a big deal. Okay, so here we go. We have this. And then you're just going to cut off the little ends. And, you know, you can save the scraps. You can probably find something creative to do with those scraps later. Like that. Okay. And now you're just going to take your favorite adhesive, your favorite 2-sided tape, carpet tape, glue dots, sticky tabs, U-glue. I personally love the U-glue dashes. That's what I use. And you're just going to go wild, putting them everywhere. And so I've actually prepared a box of sprinkles. And so if you'll just bear with me for a moment here, I'm going to, and this is something that your kids will love to help you with. All right, excuse my putting my back to you there, but I just love this design. This design just makes me so happy. I'm kind of hungry. Now, I'm a little bit short, and I'm guessing that you're probably not 7.5 feet tall either. So you may be wondering, how do I get up higher? Just tilt it down and continue decorating. Let's see, we'll just put one more there. Right about there. And you get the idea. So there you go, and of course you would do it all the way around because it is a 360-degree design. You can change the flavor of ice cream. You know, there's giant marble balloons that you can use for a marble sherbet. You can use brown for a chocolate. I mean, pink for strawberry, light blue for the cotton candy flavor. I mean, it's just limitless, and everybody is going to go nuts. I mean, if you want one design that was worth buying this whole book that you are going to get major kudos for, well, all of them, but especially this one.